coming in from Pune, and this is yet another case of alleged discrimination against the third gender. Transgender from Pune was stopped at the entrance of a shopping mall and was barred from going inside the mall. 29-year-old Sonali raised her voice against this discrimination, and only then the mall staff allowed her inside on the condition that she should not go on the second and the third floor of the mall. And Richa Sharma is joining us over the phone line. Richa, what is the mall maintaining? She was first not let in, later on she was let in, but with conditions. What has been the stance of the mall's management so far?
That's why we did try to reach out to the mall from last night. We still are awaiting an official response from them, but certainly it seems like there has been a certain kind of disappropriate or inappropriate behavior on part of the mall staff as well as the security personnel in this whole matter, because there is no such law that states that a transgender member or a person cannot enter a public place like a mall. And clearly, when we tried to reach out to Sonali as well, and we spoke to her over the phone, what she told us is that this is not the first time she's going to a mall and visiting a public place with her friends, and she has complete right to do the same like any other person. And why was she cornered off or selected out to not enter the mall premises? And only after she raised this issue in front of the security personnel and staff of the mall was when she was in fact let inside, only at the pretext of not allowing her to go on the second and the third floor of the mall, which is even more inappropriate, because clearly this was not a discrimination that they would have done against any other person of any other community or any other normal person. So clearly this is what the contention Sonali is putting in front of us at this point.
Okay.
And we are still awaiting an official response from the mall authorities.
All right, we are awaiting an official statement from the mall's end on what is their side. But Richa, what is Sonali maintaining? What was told to her when she was stopped at the entry? On what basis was she stopped at the entry?
The number one contention that the mall authorities gave her is that this is under the protocols and policies of the mall to not allow people of the transgender community from entering inside. And they also gave ahead an explanation stating that earlier there were some certain members of the transgender community who had in fact misbehaved inside a mall. But Sonali has maintained that this is not the reason why she should be punished for somebody else's wrongdoing. And she was completely in behavior and in conduct while all this was happening. And she made sure that the friend who was accompanying her as well, he also recorded the whole sequence of events to make sure that this does not happen to any other member of her community. And this is what her intention is.
And we can see those visuals, Richa, on our television screens of how hesitant these security personnel are to let her in. And this carried on for several minutes, you're saying, after which the mall management allowed her to get in, but only on the ground floor. The second and third and the first floor were not accessible to her. But Richa, what about experiences otherwise? You had a word with her. Has she ever faced such sort of an experience earlier as well?
Yes, in fact, we also went on to ask Sonali that if she had faced a similar situation in the past. But she completely stated that this is the first time ever that has happened to her, that a mall has in fact stopped her at the entrance. And not just that, the security lady who normally stands at the entrance of the mall to check every person physically to make sure that they do not have any kind of unwanted material or goods, even she refused to touch her. And this is another discrimination that she has mentioned in her talk that we had with her over the phone. So clearly these are the points that she has raised at this point, and we are awaiting to see if really this particular mall has some kind of policy which bars transgender community from entering their premises.
All right, Richa, we look out for that response from the mall's management, which we are awaiting. Thanks for getting us those inputs for the moment.